Okay, Angela, so now that we've watched the video of your I do, what do you think went well?
I think what went well was actually gauging the students, getting them engaged, getting them at having them track me, and then reviewing what we did the day before on the board, and then kind of having them engaging by opening their notes and then following along as I recap what we've already learned.
Good. So, is there anything you would do differently?
Yes, I would. I would maybe check for understanding by having the students actually tell me in their own words maybe what the rounding rule is. Also, and not necessarily quoting word for word, but maybe give me an example of their own and tell me how they would round using the two different rules.
Okay. So, what was the goal of your lesson?
The goal of my lesson was to kind of review what we've already learned, touch briefly on it before we actually go into what we're going to do together. And just kind of jog their memory and refresh their memory about the balloon method for rounding.
Okay, so rounding was the goal of the lesson, right?
Yes, rounding was the goal of the lesson. Rounding decimals to the thousandths place.
Okay. So do you feel like that you accomplished your goal and that they understand rounding?
Yes.
How do you know?
I do. I know because we've had several practices where it's guided. We have practice where it's been independent, and then also where they've been assessed over it. So, and based on the data, they seem like they really they understand. And the few that didn't, I've been working with them independently.
So, Angela, I did want to tell you thank you again for allowing me to video you. And at some point,
Yes.
I would like to share your video with the rest of the staff. How do you feel about that?
That's fine. That's fine.
I feel like you have a lot of great things going on in your classroom. While I was here, I was able to observe a whole class reset when they came in. You threshold, they came in and they didn't meet your expectation.
Yes.
So you sent them back out, restated your expectation, and they were able to execute and were successful with the threshold. Your routines and procedures are tight. Students understand what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell that you've been modeling and been consistent with your routines. I observe strong voice. I mean, you stand tall, you square your shoulders, you never raise your voice, and you command your audience and your students. I can tell you really have a good rapport with them. Another TLAC strategy I noticed was be seen looking. Have you heard of be seen looking?
No, I haven't.
So there was a kid talking over here and something, and you kind of just did a quick pause. And then you say, "Are you okay?" You gave him a thumbs up. So, and you hit it and you went on to, yes, and you went on to the next thing. And then also slant. You said you asked kids to slant. They sat up tall, hands on the desk, and track the teacher. So, good job. Keep all of that up. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, now what I want you to focus on moving forward, you have a lot of good stuff in place already, very effective strategies that you're already using. What I want to suggest that we focus on is something called aggressive monitoring. Mm-hmm. Now, when you hear it, are you familiar with aggressive monitoring or monitoring aggressively at all?
Somewhat, yes.
Somewhat?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, basically, with monitoring aggressively, it's a way to maximize the gathering of student data while they're doing independent practice.
Okay.
So, we're going to take a deep dive into aggressive monitoring. I'm going to show you a video.
Okay.
And I want you to, I'm going to give you a thinking job. And the thinking job is, what are the keys to aggressive monitoring? Uh-oh. What are the keys to aggressive monitoring? What's the purpose of aggressive monitoring? And how is this going to impact your classroom instruction?
Okay. So keys, purpose, and how am I going to use it?
Yeah, the keys, the purpose, and how impactful will this be in your classroom?
Okay.
It's going to be on the evidence. When I had class with Tulane, I had class with Minnesota, but scholars were lacking evidence. So what you need to make sure is think back to the simulations, include information
Okay, so she was doing, what was that strategy called?
Be
Be
seen
seen
looking, yes.
Be seen looking.
Even that's a much faster pace. Keep it up. So you didn't want to go to one minute, correct? Make sure you say why. Go back to the language and what they said. Yes, but focus on this first.
So I'm gonna just pause it right there and ask you, what do you notice so far?
I noticed that she gave him very clear expectations of what she's going to be looking for when she goes around, and she told them how she wanted to be how she wanted them to write, and also as soon as she released them, she was looking. She was being seen looking, and she went through quickly and was reading, and she had something that she was looking for, so she could give them quick feedback.
So she told them what it was she was going to be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And did you notice the sense of urgency?
Yes, she was like, it needs to be. She even she made it known what was the urgency on it.
Okay, good.
Come around and check evidence 1 minute from now because your claim should be done.
Okay, so right there, what did she say? She said, now I'm coming around and I'm looking for something else.
Yeah,
I'm checking
she's looking-
evidence.
This is her second thing that she's checking for. I like how she's kind of marking on the paper too.
I'm still giving feedback around evidence. I'm thinking about what I told you before we started, and I'm wondering if it's showing up in your work.
And it's immediate feedback, like they know what
Okay.
they need to work on. But it's the paper.
Okay.
It's like, okay.
All right, so you said that, so she told them exactly what she was looking for the first time she went around.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me what you noticed.
When she went around to look the first time, she was going around quickly and she made quick notes. Even some people, some of the students, she said they're pacing. She wanted them to work a little faster, and giving back what she was looking for.
You mentioned the notes. What kind of notes do you think? If you could, what do you imagine her notes would be as she's walking around?
Depending on what she's teaching, maybe she's giving them a check or X or circling something maybe they need to work on. Maybe she has some type of symbols that represent what they need to be doing.
Yeah, because she was real quick, so she was just hitting it and going.
Yeah, and
So-
the second time she kind of wrote something, so I was like, I wonder what she write.
So talk to me a little bit about what independent practice looks like in your classroom now, and how you monitoring in the class now, and what we seen in the video of Miss McDonald.
So kind of like comparing the two. For me, depending on the concept, like if I feel like if it's something really difficult, like sometimes when students are working, I'll pull a group at a time and kind of have them rotate.
Okay.
And then they'll go back to their desk. Like I'll say, okay, let me check number 1. for everybody, and then number 2, you do it at your desk, and I'll come back by. And or as they're working, I normally like to use a pen or something, and I'll do like a check or circle something or put a question mark if it's something I feel like they need to go back and recheck.
In your small group?
I do that in small group, and
Okay.
even when they're at their desk, I'll come by and write on, like just kind of either check or X. So as they're finishing, they can kind of see what track they're on. Am I getting them right? Am I getting them incorrect? So it's not like, oh, I have to wait until we check it all together.
So do you feel like, what were your takeaways from this video?
I think I need to provide the sense of urgency before I release them, and making sure that the expectations are known and that they're very clear of what the expectation is, and providing them immediate feedback when they're working.
So when you're monitoring or aggressively monitoring, give them immediate feedback. And what else did you say?
Oh, I said the sense of urgency.
Sense of urgency.
Yes.
Okay. So do you feel like this would be impactful in your classroom?
Oh, yes.
Okay. How do you think this would impact instruction or your student products?
The student I feel like students will be more focused if they know, well, not more focused, but it will help the students become more successful because they know exactly what I'm looking for. And as I'm teaching, and then after when I'm telling them this is what I'm going to be looking for, they will be more, oh my God, I'm just looking at the word that was right.
Aware?
Yes.
They'll be more aware.
Yes, they'll be more aware of what the expectation is.
Okay, so we're going to practice in just a second.
Okay.
We're going to role play.
Okay.
And I'll model for you. We'll take turns. So based on what we've seen, we have to identify, what, how do I say this? We're going to practice. So what I want you to start doing is, during your independent practice time, is naming the lap. And what that means is, okay, guys, today, this is what we learned. I'm going to come around and look at your work, and this is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
So specifically, name the lap, tell the students what it is you're looking for. And you need to have an exemplar in hand of what you're looking for. So it could be the exact assignment, like it could be this in hand, but it's already completed. So you can quickly look.
Show them what, okay.
So you can see what it is that their paper should look like.
Okay.
So we're going to name the lap. You can write this down.
Okay.
Name the lap, mark every paper with a pen, and have an exemplar in hand of what it is you're looking for. And then you kind of hit on this already. You talked about, oh, I wonder what she's writing on her paper. So have some type of tracking system or a way to notate the data that you're collecting. So it could be a check, a minus, a R for reteach. It could be an X, a star, but whatever your key is, I guess you create a key. Does that make sense?
Yes.
For what you're looking for. So you can have that data in one location so that you can utilize it to guide the instruction.
Okay.
And even maybe use that data sheet later for reteaching your small group that you mentioned. So tell me, what are we going to do?
Okay, so I'm going to name my lab. So tell the students what I'm coming around to look for. And then I'm going to have a pen to mark every paper as I'm walking around. Some type of key that I'm going to use, whether it's a symbol or minus or plus, or just some way that I know what it means when I'm marking the students. Also have an example already completed so that I can show them